How to understand music theory for lead guitar. What's up, guys? My name is Richard Shepard. I'm the owner of the Heroes of Music Institute. First, we're going to go over some music terminology. All right. Sometimes I can forget that I'm a big old music nerd, and some of the words that I'm saying or terms I'm saying you may not understand. So let's go to the very, very beginning and let's get some of this terminology under our belts. All right. So the first term is scale. Some of you may have heard this before. Right? That's a scale, those single notes, a sequential arrangement of notes in whole and half steps. Whoa, 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 what's a whole or a half step? Let's get into that. Half steps, also known as semitones. Okay, so when you hear half steps or whole or half steps or semitones, they're the same thing. Okay, a half step is the distance between two adjacent notes on the chromatic scale. For example, those are half steps. I'll give you another example. C sharp to D, E to F. You see this? Half step up, half step down. Okay? Whole step. A whole step is an interval that spans two half steps. Okay? So 1, 2. Different sound. Do you hear that? The notes I'm playing, I'm going from A to B. 1 half step, 2 half steps. Half step, whole steps, sorry. One, 2. You're just skipping a box. You're skipping a fret right here. That's a whole step. Interval. The next term is interval. The distance between two pitches measured in half steps. Okay, so like in measuring length in the world, we have centimeters, inches, feet, yards. In music, we use intervals. Now, we're going to get into the names of the 12 different intervals later on in this book, and I'll make another video about that. But intervals is the name of the distance between two notes. So, for example, for A to B flat, that's a minor second, major second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth. We'll get into that later, okay? So interval, names of a distance between two notes. Diatonic, ooh, fancy word. What does it mean? All it means is of the scale or from the scale. So let's take that first scale that we've been using. The notes in the scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C. Right? So each one of those notes has a corresponding mode, a corresponding chord that goes along with it. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, back to C. All of those chords are diatonically connected to the C major scale. Okay? You could also think of the word related. Okay? Diatonic, related, specifically related to that family. Okay? Diatonic. Pitch, the perceived frequency of a sound, is the characteristic of a sound that allows us to distinguish between high and low sounds. Low pitch, high pitch. Okay? And in between. Consonants, a stable and harmonious combination of sounds. It is characterized by a sense of resolution and a lack of tension. Okay, so going to take a piece of this chord, C, E, and G. I can play any C, and it will agree or be consonant with this C chord. I could take any E, and it will agree, it'll be consonant with this chord. The same with G. Consonant, it agrees. Dissonance. Now, I'm going to take a note that's in this scale, but not in this chord, because there's only 3 notes in this chord, C, E, and G. So I'm going to take D and add it to this chord. Let's see what it sounds like. Ooh, that's pretty. But I've introduced a subtle or mild bit of dissonance, which resolves back to C. What if I took a note out of the scale entirely? What if I used E flat with the C? I've introduced some sharp dissonance. Okay? There's really 2 layers of dissonance when it comes to music. Okay, the chromatic scale, our next term. It's basically talking about the 12 notes of our musical alphabet. If I start on E and I end on E, I'll play all the notes in between, all 12 notes in between. The chromatic scale. Modes. A set of specific scales derived from the major scale. So again, each one of these notes has a corresponding mode that goes along with them. And all that means is that you're starting the scale from a different degree. C. If I start the C scale on C, I'm playing an Ionian mode. If I play the scale starting on D, I am playing the Dorian mode. If I start the scale on E and I'm emphasizing the E, isn't that fascinating? It's the same scale, like just 2 degrees ago I was this. Very happy and bright. But by changing where I start the scale or changing the mode, all of a sudden the clouds have darkened. That's the Phrygian mode. Okay, so each one of those notes in the scale, all 7 of those notes in the scale, has a corresponding mode. Okay, melodically. In music, it means played 1 note at a time. So, right? Harmonically, 2 or more notes played together at the same time. Harmonically. Okay, so that concludes music terms. We're going to stop right there for today. Tomorrow I'll make another video about Music Theory 101 Part 2. There's a lot to get into, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much. Stay great. Again, my name is Richard Shepard. I'm the owner of the Heroes of Music Institute. If you guys have any ideas or for videos, or you have a question, let me know in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Stay great.